Mansour. How are you doing today, first of all?
I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Hanging in there. So I'm located a little north of Washington, D.C., and you are in Philly, correct?
Actually, I'm in Pittman, New Jersey now. So,
Okay.
yeah, just south of Philly.
All right. And what's sort of the situation there? I feel like every state has something different as far as what we're expected to do right now. Today is March 20th, so we're kind of in everything's in flux, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like everything really like started cracking down last Wednesday night. For me, my experience was when the NBA announced that they were, taking the hiatus. I think start things like started tumbling from there. But like right now, Jersey, we were actually touring California. We just came home Monday night, and when we got home, we found out that Jersey actually we have a curfew. We have to be in by 8, between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. Now in Philly, which is where I mostly lived until a few months ago, they were not, that is not the case, but they are shutting down all non-life sustaining businesses as of last night. So it's just getting more and more like, I know in California now they have to stay in San Francisco. I mean, it's just like seems like every day there's just a little more, even though there seems to be good news coming in from other areas of the world and then some bad news in other areas of the world. It's just a lot to keep up with and not become inundated with. But that's our deal here anyway.
Do you feel prepared, at least right now?
I mean, it's like unprecedented times, so as prepared as you can be. You know what I mean? Like I definitely am not somebody who food shops for long periods of time. So not compared to other people who probably are stocked up on everything for the next year and a half. No, but I mean, to me, like I've always taken everything a day at a time. So to me, like I'm not really shocked anymore after the last few days of what's happening. I don't need to judge it as much as I did in the beginning. I had a lot of judgments about it in the front end without a lot of knowledge and with too many news sources coming at me. So for myself, I just take it a day at a time and I really like pare down how much I'm going to look at anything. I promote the group and I pretty much just check in with people, and that's my way of being prepared, staying connected. I think
I
staying
like
connected.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So how has this impacted your band Soraia, who I know just put out new music?
Yeah. Well, honestly, our streams are up, like more so than when we've released past records. I think people are home and they're in this place where at least our fans seem to be, where they really want to help as much as they can. And like our last few days in California, like I said, our last show was actually this past Saturday night, our last live show. Like we were supposed to have our release show tonight in Philly, which would have been almost sold out, if not sold out. And so what we decided to do was like, I kind of just went back and like thought about like a lot of our dates are canceled. I mean, our spring tour was built around the release of our record, which was last Friday. The press didn't stop. The radio hasn't stopped. So in a sense, it's helped. And in another sense, it's hurt because the live performance can't get there as much. But also, I feel like people are, like I said, are more willing to help or more willing to share. I'm not a good person at asking for help, but lately I have been. So, because, Soraya to me is something bigger than just me and just the people in it. Like it's something to share with others and it's important. So I had to go back to like, oh, do I want to have a release or not? And I was like, yeah, I still celebrate life, celebrate I'm alive. Like one of our songs is called Still I Rise, and it's about like things like this, like get up. Like we can't change uncontrollable circumstances, but we can bring our best self to the table, and that's not easy at all. I think people are dealing with a lot of emotions. I think forgiving people at this point is important, and also just bringing music to people. It unites people, and I kind of myself have like a deeper sense of how significant what I'm doing in the world is versus, this like idea of like, if you're not making a certain level of income or you're just playing around or, this is important, especially in times like this. So we are having a release show tonight. We are live streaming. I have no idea how it's going to go. Like we Facebook live all the time and it's great, but live streaming on like a platform made for that is just, we've never done that. So I don't know if we're going to play too much. Who cares? It's just going to be a live stream tonight, to bring our community of people together too. I think it's important people stay connected, really.
I really appreciate your mindset, and as someone who kind of very, very, very much remembers 9/11, because I grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
While it was horrific while things were going on, it was also sort of relieving how communities came together, how people just, were able to kind of change their mindset into, you're right, there are lots of things we can't control, but we can really control how we react or don't react to each other. And so I think that it's really great to have that positive mindset, and no better place to show that than through music.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky in that, and grateful. There's a lot to be grateful for. And I think if we focus on that more than on, the scariness of everything, it brings out a lot of fear. And I'm not going to act like I'm not a little bit fearful as well, but I also have a strong faith. Like, I believe that, like, again, community, like bringing things together, like in a sense, I've been more connected to some people than I've ever been, because maybe out of selfish fear, but I'm still staying connected. Like, it's really, really important. And like I said, like you said, September 11th, I can tell you, I was out the other day driving and I felt that feeling, that same feeling. And I was like, this is why it's familiar. That first week or two after 9/11 and all the things that happened with the mail and everything else, remember, it's that same fearful sense, and you can feel it in the air. Like, you can feel that energy circulating. And I think it's really important for people that create to be actively creating and sharing right now. Like, that's our purpose. So
I think we were able to sort of unify under the fact that, we're all feeling this. We're all feeling anxiety. We're all feeling worry and fear and all of these things. And so it's like we are truly in this boat together. And I think that was, for better or worse, a unifying force. And I hope that, we're kind of going to remember that, like, not that we've been through the same thing before, but we've been through the same emotions before. Yeah. And we can help each other through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to. Like, when one starts to fall, the other one's got to pick them up. That's our job. Right.
So what else about this gives you hope? I like to think about the positive as well.
I think because like you have been bringing up a few times, I don't know why, but I'm feeling a lot more generous. Like, not stupidly generous, but just generous. Like, I want to see how people are doing because other people have been trying to see how I'm doing. Right away, I put a post up because I felt it relevant to let our fans know why we were finishing our tour on Saturday night, and that I wasn't trying to put people in danger, but, we had a commitment to these dates, and, we were following CDC guidelines, and I just wanted people to know, and I also don't want people to give in to their fear. I'm not trying to control their emotions, but I think it's really important that people know we all feel the same way. Nobody's unique in this situation. Obviously, if you have the virus, you're going to feel a little differently. But I think all of us are going, like, do I have it? Like, do I, like, we're all panicked. Like, it's kind of oddly the new normal. Now I forget the question. Shoot. Oh, the positive. I forget what you said about. Oh yeah, people are being more generous. I see it in their posts. Some people are being angry, but I also feel like that's kind of normal too, and that's kind of the path that some people have to. It's like bargaining. It's like grief. Like, my way of life is changing right now, but I think it's really important too. I see a lot of people, like, I'm trying to share, like, today. Like, don't take a snapshot of today and make it like, oh my God, what's going to come next? Because I'm seeing a lot of that too. And that's the only thing I can counter with, is not trying to fluctuate or like heat or throw gas on their fire, but like trying to say, like, okay, this is what we're doing today. I mean, people are going to be angry. There's nothing we can do to control that, but there's a lot of people just trying to give, and it makes me want to give. So, a little verbose, but you get the idea.
Well, and I think you've given fans a way to give with your, recently, I'm sort of bouncing around from thing to thing. So that was for the giving, was about a suggested donation I was reading about. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, on the platform we're using, which is Stage It, we chose it because the video quality is really good. We've never done it before. We were thinking of doing Facebook Live or Instagram Live because well, Facebook Live because we want a whole concert, but mostly because we want it to be free. But part of it is like we're also in a business. We're also trying to make a living. That way, if anybody's struggling, they can give me a dime. Like, you know what I mean? You can go in as far as the suggested donation is $5. But I also say, if you don't have that, it's a dime. And if anyone contacts me, I have a limited amount of guests I can add on stage it as well. But my feeling is you're giving and getting back. You're giving and getting back. You have to give something to get back. But I also said, if you don't have the money, pay it forward in a nice gesture to someone else, because that's what's been done for us. So to me, like, it kind of starts spreading that a little bit around, and hoping that like people are like, how can they charge at this time and whatever, you know. I think that's the way I feel like, because people have been offering us like monetary help. And what I've said is, for me at this point, at least, I'd rather give something in exchange. I don't feel good about like taking something and not giving back. And I'm not saying that for anyone else. I'm in a situation where we can do that. You know, not everyone is. So to me, like, creating music and playing music is like the way to give back. And it's a celebration. It's a unifying thing, community, like bringing people together. I mean, I've seen some great videos. I don't know about you, but you guys saw Anthony Hopkins playing piano with his cat on his lap. I'm like, when are you ever going to see that again? Like, like, these are exciting times. Like, so, like, yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Gosh. What's the first song you guys are planning to play tonight?
We're actually playing the record in order, so we're starting with Dangerous.
Nice. And what are some ideas that inspired that song?
Well, that song was about something going on in my life at the time, like most of those songs on that record, which like seems like I have a really adventurous life and I don't. But you know, I was just feeling like I, you know, really dug this guy and he was playing games, and at least it felt like he was playing games. So it's like I was kind of being that woman taking a stand, being like, come on, like, what's the problem? Sarcastic, a little bit aggressive and tough at the same time that like tender, showing how I really felt. So I love that song because it's like, even the craft of it, which is a long story, but it's the storytelling aspect of how we wrote the song. But I think it's a really cool idea, and it was just supposed to be an explosion of emotion. And it starts out with that, like a scream and a woo, and then you're into the song. So it's like reminds me of like the songs that I grew up like really loving, like, you know, like listen to Jet and listen to like, I don't know, like grunge and just that explosion of raw emotion.
Very nice. So are plans for Soraia sort of on hold until we see how the world develops, or do you have plans already for the fall?
We do have plans for summer and fall already, you know, because it is an album release year. So that's always a little different, a little more aggressive for us for touring. We do have like our summer pretty much taken care of. We have plans for the fall for touring. Those are now up in the air, depending on how the spring, how soon the spring gets back in action. I mean, we still have shows scheduled in April. I don't know that they're gonna see through, but I'm also like not trying to like I said, I'm taking it a day at a time, but we are actively always doing something for Soraia. And we actually, our Dead Reckoning Club, which is our Patreon, I told people that's another way they can help us out, and we're going to be active with that a lot this next month. I'm kind of taking it a month at a time, but, you know, planning ahead as much as possible. I think we're all still in that, like, what just happened kind of thing. Because we basically just had the next 2.5 weeks of our tour canceled, like, the other day. So, and I kind of knew it was coming, but at the same time, like, well, maybe it's not. And then I was like, yeah, no, it is. So, and with every new thing every day, it's really hard to plan at this point, other than stay engaged with our fans, keep, you know, letting them know about the new record, keep getting radio, like, just, we're actively going after all that. So
fans need to check out Dig Your Roots, check you out online on Patreon and on Stage It, right?
Yes, please.
Excellent.
Yeah.